Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Another podcast, because things just keep on happening in the tennis world, don't they, JG? And something a bit shocking happened last night. Rafael Nadal tumbled out of the Citi Open, losing in 3 sets to Lloyd Harris. And, the guy's number 50 in the world. I'm not going to say that I'm actually that shocked. I don't know why. After the performance with Jack Sock, I thought there was always a possibility something could happen in one of these next few rounds. How are you feeling? I'm sure everybody's joining to hear the JG.
Yeah, well, the
words.
thing with this is, like, we've done the last few podcasts, we always start saying it's sad, it's this, it's that. For me, the overarching sort of feeling's actually angry. Like, I was so angry. I woke up this morning and, like, do you know when you first wake up? Because I missed the end of the set. So I fell asleep, actually, in the second set after we'd won the second set. And I was thinking, he's done it. Like, I was very confident, I must admit. And I think that confidence is the worst thing. Because then I woke up in the morning, I checked it, and he'd lost. And I just sort of, like, dashed my phone. It was on charge. I was like, no, I can't be bothered for this. I was just angry. And the more I've thought about it, the less angry I've got, if I'm honest. Like, if you caught me, if we did this podcast a few hours ago, I was more angry with it. But it's one of them things, like you said, it's not that shocking. He's not looked great. He's had a bit of a foot injury. It's going to take him a while to sort of get back into the swing of things. I didn't expect it, though. Regardless of that, I thought the Sock one was the first one sort of settling back in. And I thought today he would have this match he would have settled in and won it quite comfortably. It wasn't the case. But the one thing what sort of helped with this is exactly what Ollie's saying in the chat. And that's the fact that this could be a bit of a blessing in disguise. And I agree with this as well, because he's got a little bit of rhythm and now he can build on it for Canada and Cincinnati. And he's someone who's not withdrawn from either of them. Hopefully he doesn't withdraw from them. But with the injury to his foot, it is a small concern. But the only thing I can sort of go to is the fact that after the match, he's come out and said his foot feels a lot better. So based off that, his foot's feeling slightly better. Hopefully he's going to be there. We know Roger Federer's not going to be in Canada. I know he's not going to be in either of them, is he? Roger Federer. And we know Djokovic isn't going to be in... Which one's he not going to be in?
Djokovic isn't going to be in Canada.
But he's going to be in Cincinnati. So in Canada, it's only going to be Nadal there, right? Out of the big three.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Yeah. And so he's the defending champion there. So he has to go there to defend the 1,000 points that he won last time. Obviously, it's going to be a tall order, and I'm not sure this is the best preparation, if I'm honest. And like you were saying, the foot, I'll just share a quick tweet that we had there. A couple of people came out and were talking about, it said, Ben Rothenberg, they're saying Nadal already in the press, best news, the foot was better than yesterday. So at least that's a good sign. I think that it was a good match. It was a competitive match. We had I think it's Luigi Gatto there saying Nadal confirms he will play in Toronto. My foot was better than yesterday. Congratulate Lloyd Harris. I need to keep working. And then Jose Morgado just saying, obviously, Tsitsipas now is in 3rd place in the world in the rankings, and Nadal does drop to 4th after all of that. I want to I think
that's what upsets me the most, though, this part of it, because I know we did the podcast the other day, and it's not the fact that he's moving from 3 to 4, because I don't think that actually means anything. It doesn't change too much. The issue is then if he comes and sort of goes to number 5. The fact that Zverev's dropped out, though, of the upcoming Canadian Open, that fills me with a bit more confidence. But there's a real possibility we could be going into the US Open if he's not to defend many points in Toronto. If he's to go out early again, then probably he's going to be number 5 for the US Open, because you expect Zverev to have a run in Cincinnati. So based off that, I'm a bit concerned, because I think he needs all the luck he can get with the draw, and potentially that would mean that a US Open he could play, say, Djokovic in a quarter-final. And that's just not what we want to see.
You've got to remember, in this Toronto Open or Canadian Open, National Bank Open, whatever you want to call it, because he's defending 1,000 points, he has to win it. Otherwise, the gap closes even closer towards Zverev. If he goes out in the second round or something, he could find himself very, very close to Alex Zverev. It's a bit scary, I think. Sorry, I'll just bring up that tweet again, just from Ben Rothenberg. I didn't realize. I think I might have cut some of it off. That's Morgado. Apologies. Yeah. So, do you want me to go down a bit on this one?
Yeah, I think there might be a bit more on this one. I'm not sure. Here we go. So he was saying the most painful thing is not to be able to be on court tomorrow in front of the amazing crowd. And that was the big sort of talking point of the tournament. And it's still going to be. The crowd are really playing a big factor. Considering we've not seen many events with crowds, I think it's so much more noticeable how loud they are. I know it was getting a bit annoying for Jack Sock the other day, and they were sort of goading him slightly. He was giving a little bit back. But Nadal was loved by the crowd, and they're going to be really disappointed not to be able to see him again. I felt like it was bringing the best out of Rafa in spells because he wasn't playing well, but the crowd was sort of egging him on and allowing him to win that match. I think if that was a match against Sock, against no crowd, he probably would have lost in the first round. They really sort of pulled him through. And I'm sure they was doing it against Lloyd Harris. From the bits I did see, it looked like a very good atmosphere yet again. Yeah. Lloyd Harris, though, a bit of a snatch and grab. He had just the one match point and just took it in an amazing fashion. I know you've got the point by point. We can have a little look through it.
Yeah, I'll just
neither of us expected it to happen. I thought he would now be a little bit more comfortable, and that's why I was so angry, really. But hopefully this is the best possible scenario for him because it will allow him to focus on bigger events. No disrespect to the Citi Open, but the others are a little bit bigger and probably better preparation for the US Open.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that this was, I don't know, is this Lloyd Harris's coming out party a little bit, managing to beat Rafael Nadal? I think it probably is. He looked really good. I don't think we can take anything away from Lloyd Harris. You've seen he has the ability to get to finals. He obviously got to a final where he lost to Karatsev earlier in the year. He's been to finals before, lost to Rublev. And
he won one, didn't he, this year?
Has he won a tournament as well this year?
I thought he won a tournament. Did he not? He was like rolling back the year when he beat Dominic Thiem in the early rounds. Or was that the one he lost to Karatsev in the final?
Karatsev, yeah. They lost to Karatsev in the final. He's getting closer and closer, though. And that's the exciting thing for Lloyd Harris. He has a lot of tools. This serve out wide on the ad side, just money. I don't know how many aces he managed to hit out there. Rafa couldn't even get close to it.
Let's have a look at the stats because I'm fascinated myself.
His volume was looking like, 16 aces, really impressive service stats from him. I just thought his volume was great. He had some great serve volley, mixed it up well, was coming in. But and obviously he's so powerful. We know on hard courts he's just a really, really power hitter. And Rafa was a bit passive for me. All of his shots were landing in around the service line. Nothing really too deep. He was doing a lot of good angular stuff, but there was no deep shots from Rafa, and it was just giving Harris the chance to push in, attack the net, and his volume was great. I was really impressed by Lloyd Harris's, not only his volleying, but his recovery skills as well. He was going side to side at some points and still getting the ball back into play. I think he's improving. That's exciting if you're a South African fan of tennis. Great. I'm sure Gene's probably in the chat, probably cheering him on. Exciting. Lloyd Harris played, I think that was probably his best ever match, you'd probably say. I think if you beat Rafael Nadal, you have to pull out your A game.
I thought the team one was really good as well.
Yeah.
Got under the radar. Team then, we was looking at as like one of the top players. I know now he's sort of going down the rankings slightly because he's not been playing, but that was still an amazing, a really good achievement from him. Yeah. Like 1 second.
Amazing. Yeah, really, really good stuff. And you can see some of the break point conversion there. Like Rafa had 6 break points, only was able to take 2 of them. And then Lloyd Harris there with 3, and he took 2 of the 3. And then obviously the most notable one was that amazing one on match point, which he just got to the business end and he was able to close it out, which not many people can against Rafa.
Do you know, I've not even seen it. I think it was a lob, apparently.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. Really great lob. I mean, Rafa, give him credit. He came into the net and he had to face some firepower that was coming at him, and then he managed to volley it back. But then the lob was beautiful. Just lifted it over him, landed well with inside the baseline. And what a perfect way to end the match for Lloyd Harris. And Rafa, very, very, I don't know, he still stood there and he congratulated Lloyd Harris, and he played a great game and he just beat Rafa. There was didn't look like there was an injury, anything like that. There was no excuses from Rafa, just got beaten, unfortunately. And it can happen to anybody. And I think that, like you said, maybe now he's warmed up in Toronto. He's got a mini break now, can heal up a little bit if there are any problems with the foot.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see a more fired up Rafa in the next tournament. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I put out a poll earlier on today. I put a couple of polls out, mate. Been busy. Just to see what other people thought of the Rafa news, and if they thought that Rafa maybe, I don't know, did he have a chance to maybe come back? I've got this one there. Do you think Rafael Nadal will be able to hold his number 4 ranking for the US Open? You can see there, it's quite close, actually. Yeah. I thought it might be a little bit more lopsided, that one, but 54% of people saying yes, they think he can hold on to the number 4 ranking, and 46% with no. Yeah. Where do you stand on that one?
It's all, for me, it's more dependent on Zverev. Like, how's he going to do? Just correct me if I'm wrong. If Nadal is to win Toronto, then Zverev can't catch him.
Is that correct?
I'm not sure. It's very difficult to sort of work out the sort of all the ins and outs of it, because then we've got Cincinnati afterwards. And I'm not sure how many points they're defending at Cincinnati, if at all, either of them. But based off that, then you've got that scenario. Ultimately, I think if Nadal wins Toronto, which is going to be, there's no Federer, no Djokovic in there. He's got another chance. I know there wasn't to be in Citi Open, but this is a tournament he's won. The last 2 times it's been held? Obviously, last year it was cancelled. I think it will put him in a really good position to sort of keep that number 4. Maybe Zverev would then have to go all the way and win Cincinnati, which isn't always a certainty.
How many points they dropped, though,
I think Cincinnati, Zverev isn't defending many, because it's just come back to me. He lost to Andy Murray on the last time of asking. I think that must have been pretty early on as well. So you've got Rafa, he's defending obviously 1,000 in Toronto. I think that's why, for me, he's not going to draw. As long as he wins Toronto, I think he'll be all right and holding on to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has to win it. Obviously, Zverev,
I think it's only 500 because it's half the points you'd drop off.
Is it still? That's what I was going to ask you. Are they still keeping with this half points? Because when is it going back? When's it going back to normal, the points structure? Because if it is still,
if I'm wrong, but by the end of the year.
Okay, well that's fine. I can't wait. I can't wait. I just want to be able to know how many points people are dropping. But if it's just 500 points that he would be dropping, if he does win it, if he doesn't win it, he will be going down. He'll be just above Zverev.
You know I'm going to be saying yes. You just know it. What I want to know is, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think he can hold on to number 4?
I think it's a tall order.
Can he even get back to number 3 now? I'm sure he can. Because Tsitsipas, he would only just be there.
Because he can only because he's 300 points above Rafa now.
Okay.
So he would have to win Cincinnati potentially, and Tsitsipas do terribly there, I would have thought, and that would be the only way he could probably overtake him again, or he'd have to have a good running at Cincinnati, let's say. But I think only the final.
This fills me with a lot of confidence as well. Zverev has never won a match in Cincinnati, apparently.
Great. That's not a good sign.
He must have won a match. I thought it was second round against Andy Murray last time around.
Might have had a bye.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah. It would probably, yeah.
But I just think Zverev, if let's say Nadal, for the sake of it, just so let's take 500 points off of what he's on now. He's on 7,815. If he goes down, it'd be 7,315. That's only 65 points above Zverev then. And then it's all sort of just down to Cincinnati then.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. But I think he can do it. I think he's definitely got the firepower. If Zverev's record's anything to go off in Cincinnati, maybe that'll give Rafa hope as well. I did put another poll out here. I said, do you think Nadal will defend his Canadian Open title? We had 30% of people saying yes, 1,000 points defended successfully. We had 14% with no, but thinking he will reach the final, and 57% think no, he won't reach the final. So sort of contrast from that last poll, really. People thinking that he can still maintain it, but maybe people are just thinking Zverev's going to have a terrible tournament as well. I just think that Rafa's going to get in through just doing better than Zverev.
I don't think he would lose 400. It wouldn't drop 400 points, mate, if he was to reach the final, because it'd be half of that, so maybe 200.
Yeah, so half points, so 200 points it would be. Yeah, so it was just out there.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, like I said, I think he's going to win the Canadian Open. But I'm obviously going to say that. I can be a bit biased with it. I generally do believe it, though, because his foot's now feeling a little bit better. I think that was just maybe a bit of the cobwebs, blowing them off. He's done that now. And I honestly do think he's going to win it. So there's no point in really asking me. I'm probably not the best person to ask.
Yeah, what do the people in the live chat seem to think about that? Is there people, and we're saying the poll, 101% on votes. The poll is cursed. Yeah, who's that extra 1% getting in there?
We seem to always happen. A lot of our polls, even the ones we do in the stream, there always be 1% more. We've got 12 travel, 21 saying let's see the draw first. Of course, it's important to see the draw. But regardless of that, I still believe in Rafa. I think he can still do it. The only problem I have now is something George pointed out, and that was what we've had. We did a podcast yesterday on Federer, didn't we? He's withdrawn from these events. We've got Rafa now going out of Citi Open. Is this like a big, I don't know, like a monumental shift in what we know as tennis and what we've been used to for so many years, where these older players have been dominating for so long? Are they sort of coming to the end now? Because you've got Georgia saying at this rate, both Fed and Rafa will be retiring together. I think Rafa's still got a few more years extra than Fed. But then you look at, say, Djokovic, and I think he's got a few more extra years on Rafa. It seems to be pretty, maybe evenly spread between the three of them. Yeah, if not, probably Djokovic has a lot more time than, say, Rafa does to Federer.
The thing is with Djokovic, I think the thing that beats Djokovic is Djokovic himself. That's going to be the key for him. I think Rafa and Roger, it's the bodies that will give up on them before they beat themselves mentally. I think Djokovic may try and do too much, like we've seen in the Olympics, playing so many tournaments to try and achieve so much that he's maybe overexerted himself and not ended up with one of the titles. I still think that he'll be fresh come the next tournament, and we'll see a good run from him in the US Open, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably as much as we can speak about this subject. It was just a sort of quick wrap-up podcast just to speak about Rafa. It's been an exciting week nonetheless. It's going to be a new champion. Hopefully we'll get to see one of these youngsters obviously get through to that final in Washington. Nishikori might be the favourite now.
Well, do you want to get maybe the final 8 up? Because there's some really fascinating players. I know we did curse Nakashima, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
We did a podcast on Nakashima, and then a few hours later he goes out. So that's just typical.
Well done.
We do have another young American in there who's doing very well. And it's not Korda, it's Brooksby.
Yes.
And who's to say Brooksby can't go all the way and win it and just sort of just kill our podcast, the one we did the other day.
I know, I'd have to delete it, I think, mate. And then just do another one on Brooksby. But no, I'm still high on Nakashima. I'm not completely gone off him just because he lost one match. I think he's still got a bright future. It's just going to be tough for him in the future. I think a lot of people came out and spoke out about it and just said, oh yeah, I think you just went a bit too ham on him there. I still think he's got all the ability in the world, to be honest, but maybe he's just slightly behind the others. That's all. He's still young. Anyway, you can see here Nishikori knocked out Cam Norrie there in 3 sets. Go down to the bottom. We've got Battle of the Americans coming up. Maki versus Kudla. Maki's looking very good. Knocked out Abashka in straight sets. Kudla knocked out Nakashima. And then we've got Big Steve, mate. What happened here? He knocked out Barankis in quick fashion. A breadstick. Love it. Go on, Big Steve. And he's playing Yannick Sinner next. I actually think Big Steve could cause him some problems as well.
Yeah, me too.
And then down the bottom there, as you were alluding to, Jenson Brooksby. He's up against the mailman. John Millman knocked out Riley Opelka. That's no easy thing to do on American hard courts. So well done to him. I think it's exciting because obviously if Brooksby gets past Millman, could be having a potential Sinner Brooksby. I quite like the sound of that. And then on the other side, for me, Kudla McDonald, that's a bit of a pick-em for me. I'm sure are you going to shy towards Mackie, I bet?
Well, let's do our predictions now. I've sent you a tweet, mate. Maybe we can get it up on there because it's visually a little bit easier to see all of the matches.
Oh, okay.
So we'll share that and go through it. But I think we should give our predictions because we've got an American in what? Well, there's a lot of Americans. We've got 4 Americans, but not in every single match. So potentially we'll have a we definitely will have a non-American in the semi-final. And they're probably I don't want to say it, but I think Nishikori would probably be the bookies' favourite. But then you've got Sinner there. He's starting to find a little bit of form, actually getting a win together now. It's been a while for him. And he could go on to really push on and win this tournament for sure. So if we had to go down the list, I'm going to just go with mine initially. I'm going to go Nishikori first match. I'm going to go McDonald. I think that could be a little bit. Maybe Kudla be the favourite, but I'll go McDonald. And then Sinner. And I think Brooksby beats Millman.
Yeah, I think we're possibly going to be seeing. Well, we're definitely going to be seeing one Yank in the next round. I think I'm going to go Lloyd Harris, to be honest. If you beat Rafael Nadal, you're probably going to be on a high. I think he knocks out Nishikori. He's going to be riding that one. When he gets on a run, I think he's good. I'm going to go Kudla. I've been impressed. I think he keeps on this good form. I think Sinner probably have too much for Big Steve, but I feel bad picking against Big Steve. I like the fact that Big Steve and Dennis are in the same tournament. They're like best buds on tour, so they're probably having a great time there in the quarterfinals together. And Brooksby, I think Brooksby against Millman. Sorry, any Aussies watching. I like the fact Brooksby's been given a wild card into, I believe it's Toronto as well, I think.
You're right, yeah.
So that's fantastic news for him. The players dropping out, only aiding this new generation of tennis. So if he can have a good run here, he's going to. All the eyeballs are going to be on Jenson Brooksby going into a Masters.
I think he's going to be the most supported player left in the draw. If I'm honest, we've got Matthew saying I'm cheering for Brooksby. US needs someone to get excited about. Well, you've got a few. Corder's looking great as well. But Brooksby could be the next best thing for sure. No doubts about it. You've got George saying the quality of tennis in Washington's been really high so far. Yeah, I'd have to echo that. I think Rafa was definitely a bit rusty and dodgy on his first serves in the first match I watched against Sock. But overall, we've still seen some really good tennis. And for a highlight reel of the tournament, it's one of the better ones we've seen for sure. We've got James joining us. How we doing, mate? Saying crazy result. Harris is great to watch. Yeah, he really is. And I was talking about the odds. I wasn't sure if Nishikori would be the favourite. In fact, the favourite Sinner.
Wow.
So they have him as the favourite, the second favourite Nishikori, and third is Brooksby.
Wow.
So
that's
they really fancy him as well, the book is.
That's pretty crazy. A bit disrespectful on Millman. I think there is a potential Millman could go through there as well. I think all of these are pick'ems.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's good to see a lot of sort of younger players and maybe some unseeded ones who we wouldn't expect to be there. I think Cam, they're saying it's the most unseeded players in the quarters since 2008. So that's always good to see. Give someone an opportunity.
I would love to see Big Steve win it. If I'm honest, I just want to see.
I know you would.
Yeah, I want to see him do well. I'm always cheering on Big Steve, no matter what tournament he's in. But
for me, Brooksby or Sinner, I'll be really happy with. But let's wrap it up there. I know I've been talking for quite a while. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for Rafa in Washington. At least he got to see the sights and enjoy that and get them all mixed up. But on to the next tournament, we'll be covering all of that. We'll still be covering the end of this one as well. If you haven't already, guys, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow for another podcast.
Indeed, guys. Take it easy. Have a good one.
See you guys soon.